Today on CityCast Boise, our wine scene is surprisingly large and a little underappreciated. Wine lover Sinai Alvarez is here to share spots you've been missing out on, tips for finding the best wine in town, and why fall is the time to visit vineyards. It's Tuesday, October 3rd. I'm Emma Arnold, and this is what Boise's talking about. Hi, Sinai. Welcome to CityCast Boise.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to chat with you guys.
Absolutely. I know you work a lot with local wineries by getting to know the owners and their products and also sipping on the wine. That kind of sounds like a wine lover's dream job.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I had this idea about 2 years ago, and I left my full-time job in June to pursue this fully. And it really has been a dream. It takes me to amazing places. I meet wonderful people, drink amazing wine. I love life.
So what stands out to you most about the wine scene in the Boise, Treasure Valley area? What do you think surprises most people?
Yeah. So to answer the first part of that question, I think what really stands out to me is just how close-knit the community is. I mean, I hear multiple times from different wine owners, it's not competition here. It's growing together. And when one winery wins, it's a big win for Idaho, the Idaho wine scene in general. I see it a lot. People are so quick to help with whatever it is, whether it's harvest, in the tasting rooms. And of course, the wine is just really great. We've had a lot of big competitions that wineries here in Idaho are winning in. And that's huge because we're up against really big players, right? So yeah, we've had amazing wine awards. And then what I think surprises most people is just how many wineries we have, because I've asked people, guess how many wineries we have in Idaho, and they'll think, 3, 10, but we have over 70.
Oh, so, wow. My guess was going to be 12. 70 wineries. And that's amazing. Mm-hmm. And that's just in the Treasure Valley, or that's all of Idaho?
All of Idaho. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. That's a lot more than I would have thought. Well, what's your advice for someone who is interested in getting into drinking wine, but maybe doesn't know where to start?
So my advice is to drink. You really don't know what you do or don't like until you taste it. So, it's definitely fun to explore, what you might or might not like just by drinking, which is always fun, but definitely don't be intimidated by wine. So start small. I mean, you don't have to commit to a whole bottle when you go to a grocery store. Next time you're out to dinner, order a glass of wine, and wine pairs so well with food. So it's just a really great way to get practice. And then eventually you'll really know what you do and don't like. And when you are at the grocery store and you have a million bottles in front of you, you'll be like, oh, well, I love Syrah, so I'm going to go with this one from Idaho or this one from Washington, whatever it is, so just drink.
I think of people at a restaurant. They can sometimes feel a little overwhelmed when they're looking at the menu. Do you have any tips for finding a wine that's right for you?
I would talk to the staff there. The waiters, more than likely, they have tried all the wines there. And if you tell them I'm new to wine or not really sure what to order, wine people love to geek out about wine. So you could kind of let them know, and they'll ask the right questions that'll help you figure out what you like. And I really recommend also just going directly to wineries' tasting rooms, because you can order full flights. So that's about 3 to 5 different 2-ounce pours of wines, of a variety of wines, right? So you get to try multiple different ones, low pressure, and the staff there, they're there to help you. So they'll walk you through each tasting, and you really get to see, I'm leaning more towards whites or reds, or this kind of red I haven't liked in the last few that I've tried, so I'm maybe not going to stick to that. Or, this red I've really enjoyed, so now I know I'll order a glass or I'll buy a bottle. So go to the tasting rooms. They're so knowledgeable and willing to share their knowledge.
Do you have a wine that you're always looking for when you check out a winery or a tasting room? Do you have a go-to drink?
So when I go to tasting rooms, I'll typically do a flight and try what they have. Also, I love to look for award-winning wines. So sometimes on the menus, it'll have like a little award symbol, or it'll say like this won in this wine competition. So that's also a really great way to just find a new, really good wine. But yeah, I mean, I will always order rosé anywhere I go.
Which tasting room, in your opinion, which one feels the most Boise?
The most Boise would definitely have to be Talaya. So it's in Garden City and it's right on the Greenbelt. So every time I've gone, you just see people pull up in their bikes, super casual. I mean, there's dogs laying around. So I love that. And it's so casual. I really don't feel the need to get all dolled up and, make a whole event out of it. It's casual. You could go there, maybe get some work done if you want to, hang out on the patio. It's definitely the laid back vibes, and they really take care of you. They take care of their staff. When I went recently, I found out they actually don't take like tips gratuity. And when talking to the staff, they're like, yeah, they take really good care of us and we don't expect you guys to pay for hospitality. And I was like, wow, that's so progressive. So that was really cool too.
You mentioned casual, and like if you're like, okay, I'm not actually going out, I'm just going to the grocery store to pick out wine. Do you have any suggestions for that? Like best tasting wine, best affordable wine?
Ooh, so this is one that I always recommend to people. It's from Holzinski Winery. They're actually out in Buell, but you can find their wines at Albertsons, the Co-op, multiple different gas stations actually. But it is their Idlewine red blend. So it's 50% Merlot, 50% Syrah. And it's just such an easy drinker. I typically will drink my red wines paired with food, but this one I could just drink on its own. Such an easy sipper. And it's got an Idaho label, so it's really nice, like for even just as a gift or, for yourself. I recommend that one. It's only $14.
What about if I'm going to a dinner party and I'm trying to impress people? What wine should I grab at the grocery store to look like I know what I'm doing?
Ooh, I love this question. I would say Cabernet Sauvignon is always a crowd pleaser. It's one of those wines that is easy to love and is definitely more upscale, I would say, and pairs good with anything. So if you're going to a dinner party, it's easy to pair with everything and it tastes delicious. But I always tell people, just buy local and a red and you're set, because that, one, local love is great, and then two, a red wine does go easily with everything.
So it's the kind of, it's the time of year where even if you can't get out of town, you kind of want to feel like you're doing a getaway. So I'm wondering, what spots make you feel like you're in a completely different place for a glass of wine?
So I've got two wineries in mind for this one. One is Three Horse Ranch and Rolling Hills Urban Tasting Room. So Three Horse Ranch is out in Eagle, and you feel like you're in California. It has the actual vineyards on rolling hills. It's stunning. It's beautiful. And they have a kitchen, so you really get dolled up, go to dinner, have your wine. It's a really beautiful place, great wine. And then Rolling Hills Tasting Room is here in Garden City, and it's stunning. It's really elegant, classy. I mean, I got married last week, and as soon as our mini ceremony was over, we went straight to Rolling Hills. We all felt cute. We all felt the love, and we got there, and Caroline that works there treated us great, and the wine was amazing. The vibes were off the charts. So yeah, those two places, if you want to feel like you're doing a mini getaway, I highly recommend those two.
What about fall vibes? Best spot for like just really enjoying, maybe changing leaves or just even like crisp air. And what do you think is the best wine for fall too?
So go anywhere with a vineyard, because in the fall time, the wine industry, it's their biggest time of year. So the grapes are fully ripe at this point. So you will see all the clusters hanging off the vines, which is really beautiful. And then you could even like pick and taste them. And some of them, like some of the red grapes, taste like Jolly Ranchers, which is really cool. So if you've never tried wine grapes, go to a vineyard in the fall when they're fully ripe and, experience that. But it's cool to experience a winery at its peak. By next month, all the grapes will be picked. And you won't see grapes on the vines until bud break, which is when they turn to little baby grapes in May or April. So this is kind of your last chance to really see those grape clusters, and it's at its peak. So for fall, go anywhere with a vineyard.
Any fun fall winery events coming up that people should be aware of?
Ooh, yeah. So the wineries are hosting harvest parties. I went to one last week and there was grape stomping, which is really fun if you've never done that. They had a petting zoo, they had balloon animal people, they had great food trucks. You know, obviously the wine was amazing. It's a really big celebration to kind of kick off this huge undertaking. You know, they spend a whole year growing and caring for the grapes, and now they're all picked and gone off the vines, right? So they're celebrating that. So there's a few harvest parties coming up. Famici Winery has their on the 14th and 15th. Houston Vineyards, which is actually Idaho's Winery of the Year, is having theirs on October 21st. So you could also find other events on the Idaho Wine Commission event page, but I highly recommend everyone to experience a harvest party. It's so fun. The energy is just off the charts. People are excited.
That sounds very fun. It sounds like a very pleasant little fall thing to do, to go to one of these little harvest parties. Any hidden gems here in the Treasure Valley that you want to shout out before we go?
I feel like this is a hard question because I think in general, our wine region is such a great hidden gem. One, because, I mean, people really don't know about it. So when you go like to Caldwell, there's about 20 wineries all in one spot. So you could really hop around and do like a whole wine tasting day. And you really do feel like you're somewhere else because, I mean, it's beautiful to be in a vineyard and wines are great and you just spend a day with your girls or your family, you know. So I think the wine region in general is a really great hidden gem.
Well, thank you so much, Sanai. I hope people listen to this and I hope they go to a fall harvest party because it sounds so fun.
Yay, yeah, I hope so too. And thank you for having me. This is a great experience.
That's all for today here on CityCast Boise. If you enjoyed the show, check out our website for more online guides to Boise and beyond. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more local stories from around the city. Bye.